so it's going to work exactly the same as it has for all of the other elected officer positions. You will each get 90 seconds to speak, and then once everyone has had a turn, you will be asked about a certain topic. You'll get 30 seconds to speak on that topic, but you can request another round of discussion if you don't get to say all of your points. And then we will move on to questions from EF and student media, and don't forget that you guys can submit your questions. So, without further ado, our first candidate for the position of president is Keitha Berryman Henderson.
My name is Keitha. I'm running for president, and I'm not your average Joe. I'm a keen philosopher, a strategic businessman, and also a wannabe lawyer. I'm here today as your president to tell you the facts, tell you what it is, because I've studied my role, I've studied the Constitution, I've studied the bylaws, and I've used my legal training to help me here. I'm going to go over my manifesto as quick as I can. I come to the election with clean hands. It means my intention is clean, my heart's clean. Keele's changed my life, I'm sure it's changed yours. But many people, it's made me the man I am today, it's educated me. The Union Shop, did you know, Select and Save, the Union Shop can't sell milk. Students didn't know that. Select to Save has agreements with the Union Shop. I've spoken to commercial managers, I understand the issues. I'm here to get around them. I've been a staff for 3 years in a row, I understand the infrastructure of university. Put me on the seat, make me head your views. I'm good in meetings. I have my notepad with me at all times. Student employment.
30 seconds.
Students need to get more in practice with things. We need to get more in practice. Catering. Let's be diverse like the body. Hangout spot. I'm a resident tutor. Guys are drinking in their rooms every night. Let's use the union back garden. Buy the alcohol from the union. Support the union. Your beneficiaries benefit from it. Student entitlements. Did you know you can get grants from your university? Business ideas. Increase self-employment. Increase employment of students. And also, let's do it safely, wisely.
Time, candidate.
Thank you.
And next we have Victoria Taylor.
When I started Keele in 2009, I hated it. I looked out my window in Lindsay and I thought, what the hell am I going to do in a field in the middle of nowhere for 3 years? For 2 of those years, I moped around, I got stuck into my course, and I went home at every possible opportunity. For me, uni was just one of those things you had to get out of the way. But then something changed. I took a leave of absence, I decided that Keele was not the place for me, and I tried to transfer to a different university. But my mum was not having it. She put me on the train, told me to go back and try again. And I did. I joined concourse, I ran for student council, and I actually got involved with Keele. It changed my university experience. And when I graduate this summer, fingers crossed, my favourite memory will be working for concourse and the incredible people down there. For some of you, your biggest memory will be your societies. For some of you, it will be your clubs, it will be your friends, and for some of you, it will be your courses. But there's one thing that brings us all together, our students' union.
30 seconds.
From fighting university policies to some cracking nights out in the SU, I'm going to be your president because I'm so passionate about Keele. Behind the policies, I just love what we do here, and I want to carry it on. So please vote Victoria Taylor, #1 for your KeeleSU President, for a president who's passionate, who's experienced, and who's credible. Thank you.
And finally, Ben Blackmore.
Ladies and gentlemen, I stand before you as a choice of how you want this union and this university to be received by the nation and the wider world. I stand beside individuals that are a testament to the good that this university has given us so far and the passion that it instills in us. It is a privilege to run against them. However, now is the time to choose. If you want a union that leads a charge against the perils of environmental degradation and will not stand by while our rivers become tainted, our landfills overflow, and our union is wasteful, then choose me. If you want a university that embraces minorities rather than marginalises them, a university that pursues equality and inclusion, to present ourselves to a world that believes in internationalism and the common good of mankind, then choose me. If you want Keele to no longer be a middling university, then join me, and together we can make a stand and say we may not be the biggest and we may not be the richest, but we stand for something greater than that. We stand for a vision of the world that is not handed down to us by political elites, but instilled from our good example. I will tell you with absolute conviction that together we can be a force for good in this world. My name is Ben Blackmore, and the choice is yours.
Thank you very much. Now, our question for President, where you will get 30 seconds each to answer. Remember, if I cut you off, then you will get the opportunity, I'm not being rude, you will get the opportunity to speak again if you request another round of discussion. I'm going to put this first to Ben, and then to Vic, and then to Kiefer. So your question is, how will you make the Student Union relevant to all students at Keele, not just those who traditionally engage?
As you may have seen through my manifestos, I have made a concerted effort to get my manifesto translated as many languages as I could in the time. I think by trying to include groups that haven't been engaged as much in the past, we can actually increase the amount of people that actually use the union, and it will make the union better for it because we get more money from a higher amount of people in it. I think it's very important to reach out to groups that don't traditionally join us for everything.
That's time. Yes, how will you make the Students' Union relevant to all students at Keele, and not just those who traditionally engage?
Thanks for the question. I think through Concourse we've made some fantastic steps for integration. We've worked really closely with the KPA, so that's postgrad students that don't normally engage with the SU. We've done that really well. We've also increased the number of international readers through Concourse Online. That's something I'm really proud of. I think in general terms of engaging with the Students' Union, it's about getting the information out there, getting people accessing it, and telling them about how Ben and they're being so passionate about what we do that people just can't afford not to get involved.
Thank you. And finally, Kiefer.
The union is a charity, and the students are the beneficiaries of that charity. And as the president, I will be a trustee. The trustee is there and is driven by the beneficiaries. I want to remind every student that every penny spent is there to benefit you guys. We're only here to shoot the ball, the car, but you guys push it. We all have that in common. You guys are the beneficiaries, reap the benefits.
Thank you. Candidates, would you like another round of discussion to further on that question? Thank you. So now we will move to EF with the first question.
Sorry, this is a media question. A lot has been mentioned about food in manifestos. Is it practical to bring in new dishes considering cost constraints?
And can we have Vic to answer that one first, please?
Hi, thanks for the question. I haven't mentioned food, and I'm not going to kind of ramble on about it. I don't think it's necessarily cost efficient, and I haven't looked into it, so it's not my manifesto point. Something I am passionate about is getting students to try new things, so that the off-campus, improving the off-campus experience, and getting people out there trying new things. So it's my part.
Thank you. And next, can we have Ben, please?
Yes, my manifesto does mention nutrition, and it's not designed for the union per se. It's actually just designed to actually give information to students how to cook well for themselves. One of the reasons why I want to promote vegetarianism in particular is that although I'm not a full vegetarian myself, I believe in the principle of reducing my meat consumption by approximately 50%, because as many as you probably know, there is a global food crisis occurring right now, and by reducing our meat consumption, we can actually positively affect the world in a good way and reduce costs of food at the same time, which makes the student experience better for them.
Thank you, and keep that on.
I see food as an excellent way to provide revenue for the student union and a way to reinvest back into students. I feel the food should be as diverse as the student body. I've mentioned in my campaign Oriental food, halal food, Afro-Caribbean foods, and the traditional foods. Basically, I should be able to try food from all around the world, just like the World Festival yesterday. We need to incorporate that into our student body and not just have it for one night only.
Thank you.
Okay, how do you plan to work with organisations outside KeeleSU on a national and local level, i.e. the NUS and the KPA?
Let's go to Ben for that one first, please.
I want to work closely with the NUS, and I think by making students more aware of issues that they can change and actually they can affect, I think we can bring our collective views together and actually put them towards the NUS. One of the things that I said in an earlier AGM was that I would support, if needed now, a motion for gay marriage to be pushed through NUS. And I also supported Ali's push for Fit to Sit, which I think is incredibly important, and she's done an excellent job doing that. But, and was it the KPA?
You've got another 20 seconds.
KPA.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the NUS and KPA.
Oh, the KPA. Well, I've already had a close established relationship with KPA, as Andy Irwin would testify. But yes, I, with the KPA in particular, I want to keep them separate because there's a university.
That's time then, Ben. Keeper, please.
A national organisation I work specifically for, volunteer for, is Citizens Advice Bureau. Speaking to the operations manager, ASK holds, I believe, 15% of the student union's budget. It's very expensive. I seek to look into it, have a review, and see how we can incorporate the union with national organisations that provide similar services, so we can look at the services we provide and see how we can make them more efficient and more viable to work with what's already provided by the government.
Thank you.
So NUS is something I'm really passionate about. I went to National Conference last year and I'm off again in April. It's something that we don't make the most of. We can get all of you going on training courses, sports clubs, societies, just to make the most of our affiliation to NUS, because it costs us a lot of money and we need to get our money's worth. In terms of that sort of organisations, I've been working with local businesses to set up this Keele bubble, and that's something I'm really passionate about as well. Apart from that, KPA, I've got some good links there as well, and I'm sure Andy would testify for me as well.
Okay, as a follow-up, do you think that KeeleSU and the KPA should merge?
Okay, and let's go to Keeper for that question first, please.
I don't think they should merge, because when you actually look into it, it's going to be very difficult being the charitable structure of the union. However, I do feel they should work together. Postgraduate students should be engaging, dining, discussing with undergraduate students. So, in my aspect, it's not really about the corporate merger, it's about merging the students and making them unite. Thank you.
And next to Vic, please.
We have a pretty unique situation at Keele where we have two separate organisations to represent students, and I think that's pretty special. If at the moment the KPA works very closely with KeeleSU, and that's fantastic, it's something I'd love to carry on. However, if a merger was on the cards, it should be a student decision and not a decision that's based on money or funding. It should be a student decision that's the best thing for us.
Ben?
I believe the communication between the SU and the KPA is absolutely fine. I don't think there's any problems with that. And I have complete faith in its leadership, and that's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay, as the public face of the Students' Union, are you ready for the attention you will receive and demands from the student body? Are you prepared to listen to students and warn? Oh, even when you don't like what they say?
Okay, can we go to Vic first with that, please?
The quick answer would be yes. Working for Concourse, we have quite a passionate committee, and we often, not often, but we sometimes disagree on things. It's important to take everyone's opinion into account. And as the kind of public face of Concourse, I've loved representing things and pushing for things I don't necessarily think are my priorities, but are the best thing for our organisation or our essence. So yes.
And now we'll go to Ben, please.
As chairman of KeeleSU, I have met people who commonly and routinely disagree with me, but I appreciate them for it. Just because I have personal views on it doesn't mean that I'm necessarily right, and I am absolutely up for any discussion and engagement. And it's about the debates and about the arguments that actually makes the SU better, not single-mindedness and one views.
Please.
2 points. Union is a democracy, and it's about having the majority and making it, you've got to balance. For the student experience, you've got to make everybody happy. But at the same time, you have to circumvent some things. Also, listening to students is enjoyable. We're only lectures for 8 to 12 to 16 hours a week. Most of what we learn at university is from students, and I'm sure you guys will say the same in your home, or into your lectures, or in the group study in the library. So I'm happy to listen to students, because that's where I learn. I'm sure you guys will say you learn the most.
How would you improve UGMs? Do you think the low turnout today is a problem?
Okay, and for that question, let's go to Ben first, please.
I do believe that the low turnouts are a problem, and a regional quorum is a very necessary thing to get democracy in the SU working properly and to be represented. I really want to increase the participation in UGMs by having workshops where people who don't know how to make motions and so on have an opportunity to input ideas, so other people can write motions, because not everyone can write a motion. It's a difficult task to do it well. But it doesn't mean that your voice should be limited because of it, because if we get as many ideas together as possible, we can actually form a fusion of ideas that will actually make our SU progress as a whole.
Okay, and Keitha next, please.
I think lack of student engagement is one of the biggest obstacles faced by the student unions. Well, I don't wish to pass judgment on that, because I think that's about the students. I turn up to what I can around the schedule. I'm sure you guys do, that's what you're doing, the guys that are listening on the radio, we appreciate that. But the students that don't get involved, when you're passing out your manifesto, the students that simply don't want to read or they're not interested, I think it's for you guys to ask your peers why that is the case.
Thank you. Do we have any more questions from EF to all candidates?
Not to all candidates, we've got questions to individuals.
Oh, sorry, I missed Vic. Go for it.
Okay, so the turnout today is a bit disappointing, especially when you're as pumped up as I'm sure most of the candidates are. But the stuff they're doing right now is fantastic, so I think a big shout out to Keegan Concourse. Apart from that, UGMs, it's really difficult to get engaged with a piece of policy in front of you. It's really more easy to engage with something that's a topic, so talking about states, but not having a policy in front of you. But saying, this is what this means, what do you actually think? That's one way I want to get people involved. And the other way is by looking at incentivising UGMs maybe with Katie lockdown, the entry to that, something like that. I'll talk to Tony Golden, he's on board, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. This question is for Victoria Taylor from Concord. In your manifesto, you talk about getting the most out of NUS. What more can we get that we aren't already getting? And how much additional effort or investment will this require?
Thank you for the question. So at the moment we send candidates to, delegates to NUS conference. The staff go on training courses, and that's how much involvement we get. We also get some bars discounts and stuff like that. It's really viable. Apart from that, we can send other students to courses like Dan McCarthy went on the international rep course, and he met lots of interesting people. There's so many opportunities for people to go along to conferences and networking events, and not only develop themselves in the student union, but also as a person. You can meet so many viable and interesting and vibrant people there that I think it's really worth our time to go along to those events. It's a time thing. Let's go.
Okay, this question is from Kiefer. There are already lots of products and merchandise in the union shop. Do you really see this as a good use of your time? Surely there are more important things to spend your time on than trying to increase the variety of your merchandise available. What benefits do you see from doing this?
I see students saving a lot of time at Wolf's Fair. How many times do you have to go on campus to buy certain products? Yes, and additionally the union is cheaper. It is one of the cheaper options, one of the only options. If the union shop becomes more competitive, I believe all the other retailers on campus will have to start looking at their prices and also looking at what they stock. So yes, I think it's very viable and practical to review what the union is selling.
Okay, for Ben Blackmore, you have suggested a neighbourhood watch scheme. Do you therefore believe there is shortcomings in the resident support centre provided by accommodation?
Sorry, could you say the end of that again, please?
I will. You have suggested a neighbourhood watch scheme. Do you therefore believe there are shortcomings in the resident support centre provided by accommodation?
Yes, I do. The fact that while albeit there's low crime near Keele, there is still crime. I want to create a safety structure for students of Keele where they, through the resident tutors, they can be guarded by and in support with the security staff on hand. While they do a very good job, they have a limited amount of range because there's only so many of them. And Keele is a very big campus. So by having student volunteers, we would have a better catchment area and actually try and make it safer, especially during high-risk periods during the freshers, when the freshers come during their first year. So I am taking as many steps as I can to not only make the Keele a safer place, but more, perhaps even as important, to make Keele feel safe, because it's also a psychological thing that if you know that there's
time. Thank you. That has been 6 questions, EF. Are we stopping there or are we going for more questions for candidates?
We had one more for each candidate, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go for it.
This one's for Vic Taylor. Your off-campus bubble idea would be great. However, would this be provided by the union or in conjunction with an existing company in the town? And if provided externally, would there be a financial cost to the union?
Thank you. Yeah, off-campus bubble is something I started working on in my 3rd year. I really want to set it up to have a safe, affordable place to go off campus. It's working with local businesses, so it's getting us into the community. We'll have a Keele accreditation, so in terms of cost to us, it's a marketing thing. So I'm getting the information out there and letting people know what's going on. We can go out and do checks, we can do mystery shoppers and make sure that everything's up to scratch, but it's just about publicity and letting you guys know that there's a place out there that is safe, cheap and welcoming.
Okay, for Kiefer, point 6 of your manifesto states that you want to bring greater awareness of student entitlements. What are the entitlements that you speak of?
Well, in the Constitution, it actually says students are entitled to grants. I believe, say, you've got a finance student, a law student, a a maths student, they wanted to get together with a business plan, they're actually entitled to that, entitled to take that to the union and receive accreditation for it, receive support for it. So that also ties in with my student employment. I'm not limiting that just to employment, it's also self-employment, bringing students from the theory, what they learn in life, to the practical. And I believe the union is a key venue for that.
Okay, finally from student media for Ben Blackmore. Could the chapel, as it's multi-faith, be provided instead of creating a new prayer room?
The fact that it's called a chapel tends to answer that question itself. But also, I mean, if you have an Islamic prayer centre, would you make Muslims go to that chapel as well? I am trying to establish a culture and identity of people who don't have a place of worship. The Hindus in our community have no place of prayer in the whole of Staffordshire, and I think that's disgraceful. And if we are forward-thinking people and intellectual people, then I think KeeleSU University should be the place that actually makes the change and makes the steps forward. And no, I do not think the chapel is an adequate place for non-Abrahamic religions at this point. Thank you.
No more questions from the floor.
Thank you very much. And can we give a big round of applause to the President candidate?